Hey everyone, so welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do another video in my sort of like eating disorder recovery type series. Basically it's just something that I've been wanting to sort of talk about. I don't know, I feel like a lot of other people sort of going through similar things to me would be able to relate to this, and that is on the topic of wanting to be healthy and genuinely liking and enjoying healthy nutritious foods, but also sort of that fine line between, well, is this me just genuinely wanting to be healthy? Is this coming from like a positive sort of thought space, or is this my eating disorder? Because yeah, that's something I have really sort of been struggling with lately, is sort of just figuring out where that voice in my head is coming from. I eat a plant-based diet, and I honestly like genuinely enjoy eating like whole foods, and I find that that's the foods that I crave. Like, I allow for balance. I make sure that every day I'm having like cookies and chocolates and like things like that as well. But like overall, I feel a lot better when I am eating whole nourishing foods. But it comes to the point too when I'm like trying to decide like whether or not it's something that I'm like, the main thing is, I guess, well, when I'm at home, I mainly like, if I'm like making a meal, I pretty much only have those sort of like, I don't know, cleaner, I guess, ingredients. But like when I go out somewhere for a meal and I'm sort of deciding what do I want, and I'm sort of think, well, am I wanting this like just for the genuine health benefits, or is this my eating disorder? Because it can be, yeah, really tough to like differentiate. And things too, like I often am aware as well, like part of the reason why I think that I'm like, well, no, this is just me genuinely, this is like the healthy sort of side of me coming in, is that a lot of things, like take for example bread ranges so much, and there is like the fact that there is so many different types of breads, and that's what, yeah, the type of bread that I go for is like, I never have like just white refined bread, because I just think there's no real nutritional value from that, and I prefer the taste of like wholemeal and like seeded and grain type bread. That being said, so again, obviously it's like if I preferred the taste of white bread, then that would be different. But also too, like things with the bread I like, and obviously it's not just, this is just an example, there are things like other than bread, but more often than not, the types of like the sort of healthier, I guess, version of it, more often than not is higher calories. So like, yeah, again, for example, with like the breads that I have, it's full of like seeds and like grains and all that sort of stuff, is genuinely like per serving is higher in calories than white bread. So that leads me to think, I'm like, well, maybe this like isn't disordered eating, it's just me like genuinely thriving from the nutrition from that and just enjoying the taste of just the, I don't know, healthier. Again, I don't like to use that word, but really it is. The more nutritionally dense foods, I guess. I don't know. You know what I mean. But yeah, so it's sort of just that fine line, but then it's sort of like, well, is this orthorexia? And I feel like it's so tough. Like sometimes when I'm listening like to the voices in my head, I just don't know, is this a disordered thought or not? Another thing too, it's sort of just like, well, when I like crave foods, I guess I'm at the point I'm like, feel like I'm counting nutrients, not calories. That's what I always try to when I'm putting a meal together, because like, again, recovering from an eating disorder, I have a really weakened immune system. So I want to be healthy. I'm sick of being unhealthy. And again, it is about balance. Like the positive, I guess, thoughts is the fact that I don't totally like have out of bound foods. I just have, well, this is my preference. And it's sort of just listening again to my body. But yeah, again, I just thrive off, like I just feel so much better if I'm eating more just like the cleaner, like foods that are like have higher nutrients. So that's what, when I'm, yeah, as I said, putting together a meal, I think, well, I need to make sure like in each meal I'm having adequate protein, that I'm having carbs, that I'm having fats, that, you know, I'm having like things that are going to taste good as well. And again, for me, that's more like the whole foods, like things like rices and vegetables and grains and nuts and seeds and all that sort of stuff. And again, I do eat processed foods on a daily basis. But again, it is just that fine line between, well, where are these thoughts coming from and how do you figure that out? And looking down at the reasons where if you have option A and option B, one being more nutrient dense than the other, and it's sort of, you just have to weigh out, well, like the option that is least, that has a lower nutritional value, how much distress would that cause you if you had to eat it? And again, if it's the type of thing, like for example, if you're going out for a meal and they like, you know, again, using bread as an example, they only do like white rolls if you're getting a burger or something, or, you know, just things like that. Or again, like say if you're me, if you have dietary preferences and it's sort of like, well, the only option here isn't necessarily what I would normally make for myself, but if you can have that, well, because you know, well, it's not like I'm going to have this every meal every day. If it's not a total distressing thing, it might be a little bit harder, just again from an eating disorder. But like, yeah, I think if you just allow yourself to have those other meals, then it's healthier. But if it's sort of like such a red flag and you find you're always like eating out, making alterations, and it's just, if they're strict red flags, like no foods. And I guess too, if you're labeling foods too in your mind as like good and bad foods, then it's disordered. It's so frustrating. That's what something I really just get frustrated with, is just I get so caught up and I'm just confused in my headspace, like what are the intentions of these thoughts? But yeah, anyway, I'm sort of just going to wrap this up here because I don't really know where I'm going with this. I'm going to be starting soon to new therapy treatment. So I think I'm going to start, like documenting, doing like more vlog style, day in the life recovery type videos, and just being really open with my recovery and where I'm at, just sort of really documenting my recovery. Anyway, until then, again, just leave me any comments below if you relate to anything that I talked about today, or if you have any like tips or tricks or something to help, because it can be really frustrating when it's the sort of other eating disorder than the traditional like bulimia, anorexia, that lots of people think are the only two things if you have an eating disorder. That's what I find, just orthorexia is really, really confusing for a lot of people to understand, because there's nothing wrong with wanting to be and eat healthy, but there does come a point, and it did for me, where it just becomes too obsessive and very, very disordered and very dangerous. There's just such that fine line between, well, are these helpful thoughts or are they not? And that's something I still don't know. But yeah, anyway, I will talk to you guys in my next video.